Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a get ready with me, just how I do my makeup at the moment because a lot of people have been asking, so I hope you like it. So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a little get ready with me today because I've not yet done my makeup. I fake tan this morning instead, so it's a little bit later in the day. I do need to put some self tan on my face at some point. However, I will probably do that at night before bed with my skincare routine. So thought we could just get ready. I have a brew. Would you like to go and get one? You know there's a pause button if you do. But yeah, I'm just gonna get ready and show you what I'm wearing at the moment. It's a huge mix sponge and I haven't done a makeup video for a very long time. So here it is. So I have already moisturised. I use the CeraVe moisturising lotion, which I have accidentally left upstairs, but I will make sure it's linked in the description box below, so if it is something that you are interested in like having a nosy at least you know which one it is. I swear by it, probably bought like 4 pump bottles of it in the last year. It's part of my skincare routine, and I'm obsessed with it. So my face is moisturized and I'm kind of like just let that soak in a little bit, and then now I'm going to go on first with my base. Now I have cheap products. One of them isn't strictly necessary, however I purchased it for my wedding and I use it like kind of on this part of my cheek. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in number 4 medium. It looks like this and it looks very standard in the bottle, but it's actually really pretty. But as I said, it's not necessary, like you don't need that, it's just beautiful for that kind of glow. I wore it underneath my foundation on my wedding day, and on my wedding day I wore NARS Sheer Glow, but at the moment I'm actually using Rimmel London Lasting Finish 25-hour Hydration Boost foundation with SPF 20. Apparently it's full coverage, lightweight, and I have 200 Soft Beige, which is this one. I'm sure you've seen it in like Boots and supermarkets and stuff because it's a bit of a regular. I've not got my lights on, so the effect of my face is just going to be as it would be if you were in this room with me now, which is probably a little bit more realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Morphe M6 brush. It looks like this, it's a little stippling brush, and I tend to get the Flawless Filter and I put that on my cheeks. The older I get, the more like my needs for coverage have changed. I used to be into, when I was younger, like around when Bill was a baby, I was into super matte makeup, like really high coverage, matte, completely covered all my face, and then I would like work the texture back in. And then the older I've got, I've obviously gone for more sheer foundations. Now this Rimmel one is a full coverage one, and I would say it's got pretty decent coverage, but I don't like things to be too thick or cakey anymore. So what I do with this, I just have one small pump. As you can see, yes, I do need to clean my brush, but we're not all perfect. And I kind of focus this more on the center of my face, and then I blend it out. I have less blemishes these days since I've like found a skincare routine that works for me. And I don't know if that's part of the aging process really, but it's been like this now for a good year or so, and I'm really happy with it. And as you can see, I'm just really spreading this out very thinly and merging the two products together. I don't use Charlotte Tilbury all over my face at the moment, purely because sometimes, you know, at this time of year where there's a lot of artificial lighting, it catches your skin in a different way, and I don't want to look like a Cullen necessarily all the time. you know, that vampire glow is great, but mainly I prefer that in the summer. So I focus on my cheeks because that's normally where I want like more of a glow coming through, and I'm not oily on my cheeks either. I've probably got like normal combination skin, like get oilier here, and I think probably a lot of us do. So I've just blended that in. And as you can tell, it's not completely like hidden like dark circles or anything like that, but it has neutralized my face, and then I can build on it. Next up is my new favorite concealer, and you will be very, very pleased to know that it's an affordable one. It's the Revolution, it's one of those, it's the XX concealer. Again, I will leave it linked down below. Originally, I bought CX 2.5, but obviously I've gotten better with my fake tanning again because it makes me feel better about myself. I've done that today. So I've actually got 5.7, which like this one would be great for under eyes, but I'm gonna stick with this one today just because I want everything to be nice and seamless. It has a bit of a tricky applicator in that when you pull it out, sometimes it can like spray product on you, so just be gentle when you pull it out, but it's like a typical doe foot one. And all I'm going to do with this, sorry if I keep looking over here because it's where my mirror is, I'm going to put that on the areas where I need it. I don't do anything tricky or fancy, I just cover what needs to be covered. I know there's loads of different techniques, but I just stick with what works for me. I have a strawberry birthmark on my forehead here, so sometimes I just add a little bit of extra coverage there. And then if I do have any blemishes, which I've got a couple on my chin, and I think that might be maskne, I'll put it on them as well. And then I normally just use like my middle finger and tap that in. But I love this concealer because it's brilliant coverage without being, you know, like some concealers are super thick. Like I used to love the Tarte Shape Tape, but it's like putting liquid cement on your face. And I find as I'm getting older, you know, I am getting wrinklier. I'm waiting for my first grey hair. I've not got one yet, but I'm sure it's plotting my demise. It'll probably come on my birthday. But yeah, I like a lighter product. I like lighter, thinner layers, as if you were like putting nail varnish on, you know, when you want like a few thin layers, nothing like first time. But already that has brightened up my face considerably. I love it. So that is my face sort of evened out a little bit, and now I'm going to set it with some powder. So again, and this is the result of my wedding, I do have like an extra product at the moment, which I'm just enjoying using. Probably will repurchase it in all honesty, because I bought the sample, like the mini version to try from ASOS, and bearing in mind I bought this in August. It is currently November. Jesus, Charlotte, you had to think then, didn't you? And it's the Huda Beauty Baby Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and I had the shade Blondie. The original one I think is maybe twice the size, like a big square, but it's basically a powder and it looks like this. I normally tap some onto the cream, and I use this to set my under eyes because that is generally where I would get like most of my creasing, and I would use it also on any areas that are maybe a little bit oily. So I'm going to tap this under my eye, and obviously this is mainly designed for baking, which I'm not talking Mary Berry here if you knew, because when I first heard this term I was like, what the actual hell. Generally speaking, you would use this to bake, which is where you apply quite a, what initially looks like a dense layer of powder onto the skin, and you let that set on your face and then dust off the residue. But to be honest with you, I'm not about that product wastage, to be honest. So I just prefer to do it like this. It is kind of like thick. I've kind of pressed it onto these areas. And then what I would do, and this again is not a cheap product, but it lasts forever. It's the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder, but this is the glow one. This is the secret to glowy skin. It's the best powder I've ever used, and I love that additional glow element to it because it just makes my skin look so much fresher and less, you know, that powdery look. I'm really not a fan of that anymore. So what I do with that is that I go in on the rest of my face and then just kind of smooth out those areas that I powdered before with the Huda Beauty Baby Bake. Just to set everything in place. Don't go too heavy, you don't need loads, but you just kind of want to set your hard work so it doesn't go all messy when you get all sweaty on the school run. Now we are going to contour, and I'm using this Morphe contour palette, and you can see there are 3 shades along the bottom. I don't use this one so much because it's very, very, very warm, but I will use this one more in the winter, and then I will sometimes go in and define my cheeks a little bit more with this one, but it's more of a summer shade, you know, when you are really like super tan. So I go in with this contour brush, which is actually just a number 7 one that I've had for a while now, and we do the classic fish face. And again, this is just something that I do in light layers because you can always add more, but you can't necessarily always take away. And I just work in that E and 3 shape. So I do my cheekbones, I bring it up onto my forehead, which I always feel like makes a huge difference because, you know, when you have caught the sun, you always will get that glowy forehead, won't you? And I just, again, do a really light layer, and it just adds a bit more dimension back into my face. Then what I like to do is just squeeze my brush so it's a little bit thinner, and I will take that same lighter shade and just lightly do either side of my nose. And then I'm going to take a bit of that darker one that I showed you before and just go in on my cheeks very gently. That is my contour done, and now I'm going to go in with my blusher. This is a Revolution set. I do really like Revolution makeup. It's very, very affordable. This is an Ultra Blush palette in the shade Sugar and Spice, and I'm going to use shade, I think it might be 1. They don't have any particular names, but you'll see it's kind of like a really dusky, warm toned pink. Some of these are beautiful for like the summer, and this nice plummy one would be great at winter time. But just this first shade here is just my dream blush. I absolutely love it, and I just smile, stick it on my apple of my cheeks, kind of, you know, just put it on. And one thing I've always done is like I just dust the leftover on the tip of my nose because it kind of, I do get quite like a little like red nose sometimes, and I feel like it's kind of natural for my face, if you know what I mean. So I'm just trying to add that colour back in, but without any of the spots or eye bags. And next up, I'm going to go on to my eyeshadow. This is the set that I wore. Gosh, it's looking matted. Let's give it a wipe to try and make it look nicer for you. Spin through the wars this palette has. I actually wore this for my wedding day. I'll show you the colours that I used. They're not the colours that I'm going to use today because obviously it's a different season now, and we got married at the very end of summer. But it's the Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette, and it's honestly, it's brilliant. I really, really like it. So on my wedding day, I used Maple, Rose Gold and Shimmering Pearl. So that's Maple, Rose Gold and Shimmering Pearl. I really, really loved the look. Did a lot of blending, added some darker shades in to deepen my crease. And then today I'm going to use Maple, Sparkling Sand, and I might use a bit of Sugared Chestnut. So that's Sparkling Sand, which is kind of like taupey, I don't know, it's almost like a off rose gold shade, and then Sugared Chestnut is kind of like just a shimmery brown. But I'm going to take my brush, it's just this one here, it's a Real Techniques one. It's really good for in the crease because it's quite densely packed and you can really get in there. I'm going to take Maple, which is that matte shade, and I'm just going to work that into my crease. I'm going to lift it slightly to lift my eye. So rather than just going straight down, you can see here I've gone up slightly, and it's going to look silly at the moment because I've not blended it yet. I'm just going to mirror that on the other side. This is really quick makeup. It's not technical makeup. There'll be makeup artists like turning in the grades, no doubt. but it's what works for me because I don't have time to spend ages like I did on my wedding day. I just don't. So I'm taking a big fluffy brush. This is absolutely battered, had it years, but still going strong. And then I'm just going to blend that up towards my brow and just blend it into my eyelid so everything's a little bit more seamless. See like the difference between that and this monstrosity here. So that is that. Here we go. And then actually what I'm gonna do now is use my fingers because I find sometimes with glittery eyeshadows that you can get quite a lot of fallout, and sometimes the best way to put them in is to kind of press them onto your lid. So I've got a bit of sparkling sand here, which is this lighter shade, and I'm just going to put that on the inner corner and about 2/3 across my lid. If you can see, it's very pretty. And let's just layer that up a little bit so you can really see that nice festive shimmer. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then you can always get your fluffy brush and just do a little wee bit of blending there. And then I'm going to take Sugar Chestnut, which is the darker shade here, and I'm going to put that on my finger again and then just dab that into my outer corner, just to add a little bit of extra definition, quite like a smoky look at this time of year. I'm trying to use the viewfinder so I can show you. So we're just gonna have a quick coffee break because I'm not trying any of this yet. What I'm gonna do now is put on some of the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme. I don't always put this on, but you know, I'm showing you my makeup, I thought I would show you today. It makes your lips tingle and makes them a bit pinker, but also like kind of puffs them up a bit. That is on. I'm gonna leave that on while I do my brows. Now, the lids for either side of this product is in my bag and I'm not gonna find them for you. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift Brow Crayon. I have the shade medium brown. Has two sides. You have a spoolie on one end and then this kind of thick, sort of waxy pencil on the other. And all you do is basically brush through your brows. I pluck mine at the weekend, so they're not too bad. Hate plucking my eyebrows. And then you're gonna use this product to just kind of do little strokes and fill your brows in. And what I love about this is that, again, this is a wedding day purchase. It is really easy to use. The colours are really nice. NYX do some really good brow products if you're wanting something a bit more budget friendly, but obviously this was a treat to myself for my wedding. But I really do like this. I'm a big fan. I think it's really easy to just take your brows from something that may be a little bit patchy or just, you know, not the best shape, and then work them into something that just is a lot nicer. So if I do a comparison, you can see that this brow is just getting a lot stronger and this one has two weaker points here and here. So I'm going to finish that up quickly and then we'll go on to the next step. And then now my brows are done, I'm going in with the NYX the brow glue, which is looking a bit gloopy, but it is brilliant. And I just use this to basically set this all in place and kind of give them a bit more of a like feathery look, because sometimes when you put product on, it can kind of like weigh them down, whereas this kind of just brings them back to life a little bit. My lips are really tingly. Right, so I have shared this product so many times. It's the only eyeliner I'll use. It's the Stickler Stay All Day waterproof liquid liner, I think it is, the waterproof one. I have it in like, I think the shade is like jet black or something like that. And I'm just gonna do a very, very sort of subtle line on my upper lid. Eyeliner is my thing, I always wear it. I know a lot of people don't, but I love it. I just do little strokes and then just neaten up the very small wing. I'll normally start in the middle and then finish off the inner corner. But I've been wearing eyeliner since I was a teenager, so I don't know. I find it quite easy to do now, but I know it can be an absolute nightmare. My only like advice would just be to start thin and small and do like little gentle strokes, and then you can join it up and you can make it a little bit bigger. But you know, makeup's meant to be fun, and if you don't enjoy it and it's stressing you out, just don't wear it. You can always get a really thin brush, eyeliner brush or like eyeshadow brush, but like as thin as you can find. Get a bit of a darker shade and then just, you know, gently dab that along your lash line to add a bit of depth instead of eyeliners like stressing you out. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go in with my mascara that I'm using at the moment, which is the L'Oreal Last Paradise. Is it Ecstatic or something like that? I just picked this one up at Boots recently, so that's what I'm using, and I quite like it. It's quite good. It's got a big brush like this. I prefer a bristle brush to a plastic one. Don't like the plastic ones, find them messier, to be honest. And I just kind of wiggle. So, like that. I wiggle it through at first, and then I will start to sort of blink down on it a little bit to get some lift. Make sure you don't forget those lashes at the outer corner, because that really helps your like lash line fan out. So that is my eyes done. So now what I'm gonna do, just got a little wipe here, and I'm just gonna wipe off the excess of that lip injection. And we're gonna do my lips. So these are my lip products. We've got a very little, you can see that I love this. This is a NYX lip liner in the shade Ever. I buy this on repeat. It's a really lovely sort of dusky pink shade. We have the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm, my ultimate favourite. And then we have this random L'Oreal Paris lip gloss. I don't put loads of this on, but I will show you how I do it in a sec. So first off, I take my highlighter. This is a independent brand actually. It's called Cocoa by Chloe, and it's the Salted Honeycomb highlighter. I'm assuming she's still in business, but I bought this earlier on this year, maybe in January time, something like that. It's really pretty. Take a bit of that on my finger and I dust it very lightly across my cupid's bow, and then I will take a little bit and also dust it in my inner corners for an extra pop. And then, using this mirror because it's handy, I'm going to take my lip liner and line my lips. I don't overline or anything like that. I just mainly do it for definition. So that is that. Then we're going to go in with NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. These are my go-to. Absolutely love them. I actually wore this combination on my wedding because I just love that, like, this bit has a bit of longevity, and then with a bit of this you can add a little bit of like subtle gloss without it being too like, you know, like, I don't like that feeling. So what I do with this is that I add a bit in the middle of my lips and I just kind of rub them together. And then with the highlighter again, I just take a little highlighter brush, dab it in, top of my cheekbones, anything left over just on the tip of my nose. And that's that. And then I'm going to set it with this, which again I bought for my wedding. It's the Urban Decay All Nighter in Ultra Glow. And that is my face done. So I will sort my hair out and then give you a proper look. So my hair was kindly sponsored, as in they haven't paid me, it's just a joke. But Batiste, I put a bit of that just in this section here. I lift it up, spray underneath, spray a bit on top. And I leave that to soak in while I'm doing my makeup, and then I just set it with a bit of L'Oreal Elnet because it is unrivaled in terms of hairspray in my opinion. I always have those two in for my hair. I curled this on Sunday, so it's what, like third day hair, so I'll probably wash it either tonight or tomorrow morning. But the curls have lasted okay, and yeah, that is my makeup. So it's just, I don't know, I like it glowy. I like a bit of definition on my eyes because I like my eyes. You know, neutral, warm colours, nothing too like jazzy, but it just makes me feel good. So I hope you found that useful. I'll list everything down below for you in case that is handy as well. And if you don't wear makeup and you're not into it, you're just as beautiful. You don't need to wear this every day. I just thought I would share it for those who are asking. So have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all hopefully very, very soon.